Welcome to the After Dark podcast. I'm your host, Jess After Dark. I'm here with my lovely co-host,
Ryan After Dark.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. I feel like we haven't done one of these in a little bit.
Yeah, it's been about a week.
Been about a week.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be back. We're doing today's earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Normally we do them in the evenings, but today we are...
Normally do them like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, so more energized today. You're
Yep.
going to see a lot of energy from me today.
And drinking some espresso while we're at it.
Correct. All right, so what are we doing today, Ryan?
So today we are going to interview you.
Yes. I thought it would be fun. I think for book talkers, I think we should have an interview process of like who you are as a book talker, so people know if you're the type of book talker they want to follow or not, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's like so many
Different kinds. And we all view reading differently. And I think everybody views reading differently. So you kind of want to like line yourself up with the book talker you're following, because if you're a very serious reader and you're following a very unserious book talker, you're going to get so frustrated. So
Fair enough.
consider this maybe my application to you to want to follow me as a book talker.
Yeah. So let's get to know Jess.
Let's get to know Jess. All right, what are we doing?
All right.
First question.
So the first question I have for you today is, what is your favorite trope?
Okay.
And also explain what a trope is.
I think that's fair. Okay, so the trope is like, I'm probably this is great. I'm probably the worst person to explain it. Ryan calls me a trope goat just because
You are the trope goat.
I am not. I barely know what's going on here. Okay. But the way I view it is like you have a genre that you're reading, and most of us are reading romance, smutty romance, right? Yeah. For the most part. And then you have like underlying themes that are considered tropes. So like a trope is going to be, for instance, a good one is enemies to lovers, which is my favorite, which that's going to be the book starts with the two main characters do not like each other. Either there's like a deep under-rooting enemy thing, like, I don't know, like we've hated each other since we were kids,
Like
or
family long feuds.
Yeah,
stuff
correct.
Like that.
And that also
Hatfields
can
be versus McCoy's type of
correct.
scenario
Like
here.
enemies, we hate each other, or it could be just as simple as like, I met you and I just didn't like you, and then you eventually become a lover. Another one is like friends to lover, because that's gonna be like, to me, the most basic. Like we see this all the time in real life. Like you are best friends, you grow up, and one day realize, oh my gosh, you're the one. Like.
Yep.
To me, I'm not a huge fan of friends to lovers, and I think that's because it's the most realistic one.
Yeah.
I root for friends to lovers in real life, but reading about it, I'm like, come on, you're a friend.
We already know it's going to happen.
Just do it.
It's going to work.
Other ones are going to be like forced proximity. So like people are just like constantly pushed in the same area. Like, I don't know, that would be like, a guy works and he has his secretary and they're constantly having to travel together or do stuff like that. But that's also workplace trope. Like a lot of these are overlapping, you know. Pregnancy trope, that means that like at some point the person got pregnant. Sometimes that's the beginning of the book. Sometimes they throw it in the end. You have amnesia trope. Somebody all of a sudden forgets that the other person exists. You have like family feud trope, which again is kind of like enemies. So a lot of these overlap, like,
right.
Or a book might have multiple tropes. So like for me, I tend to go towards like enemies to lovers. I love the tension that is with enemies, but then I love like all these little microtropes that go into it. So it's kind of like one of them is the who did this to you microtrope, right? Like that is just a one piece of the book that goes from like their enemies, and all of a sudden the girl comes in and like her ex-boyfriend may have just beat her up or did something, and now all of a sudden her enemy is like, who did this to you? And all of a sudden things change and you're like, I love that kind of thing. So that is kind of my favorite. Another, I guess,
Wait, which one did you say was your favorite?
Enemies to lovers.
Enemies to lovers. Okay.
And then, like, I love the microtrope of the who did this to you as well.
We should split this question off into two here.
Okay.
So there should be one, which is like, what's your favorite trope? And then it's what's your favorite microtrope? Because I feel like they're two little different things.
So microtropes, are hard because almost everything can be a microtrope. So like, for instance, I was just about to say, I love good banter. So like, I don't know if that's a trope or a microtrope, but it's like when he and her have like this like rivalry banter back and forth. Like I really love a broody man with like a really like, I don't know, a girl that just doesn't take a shit. She's like, I'm hot, like whatever you say. Like, for instance, a good example of that is in Heartless by Elsie Silver. I was talking about that the other day. I love the banter back and forth. I just love broody MMCs paired with FMCs that don't just lay down and take it. Like sometimes it's like sweet little FMCs are nice, but I talk too much shit.
Yeah.
So I love an FMC that talks shit right freaking back. So that's kind of a little microtrope. Other little microtropes are, I don't know, like there's only one bed when they show up. Or like I was saying the other day, I love the microtrope of when she's intoxicated or maybe she got like drugged at some point. Like there's one point where she blacks out. She doesn't know what's happening. And she wakes up in the main male character's bed and she has no clothes on and he's there. And she's all like, oh my gosh, what happened? And he says something along the lines of, no, I didn't touch you. The first time I touch you, you will fucking remember that. And I'm like, I love that so much. So like, to me, that's a microtrope because it's just one line in the book. But if the book has it, I eat it up.
Okay, fair enough.
So I could probably talk hours on microtropes, but that's kind of where I am. Anything with those lines, I love that.
Okay. All right. So the next question I have for you is, what are your pet peeves in books?
Oh, okay. I've talked about this with you. I take it. Okay. What's my pet peeve? You don't know?
No.
You knew it when we did the little back and forth thing more than I did. I hate whiny FMCs.
Yeah.
I hate that. Okay. I understand that books are written for women to feel like represented. Okay. So I get it. We all have a whole bunch of insecurities. I have insecurities. Everyone has insecurities. However, I read to escape. So if I find that the woman in the book is hyper fixating on her flaws, like 18 times in the first 20 pages, I'm closing that book because I'm like, I'm already living with the shit in my head. Okay. Right. I'm already fighting my head enough as it is. I want to escape from like worrying about the size of my pants, the size of this, how my hair looks, like I'm reading to escape. So if my FMC is hyper fixating on that, I don't want to do it. And I know authors do it because it's like, we all feel that. So like represented on paper, it feels good to know somebody else feels like that too. But I think you can do that tiny and us be like, yeah, I totally feel that. Without making it the focus of the book.
So you're looking for more of that BBE, that bad bitch energy.
Bad bitch energy. That's it. Like, you don't understand how many times I've been stuck in situations. I do this all the time. Ryan has to give me shots for like energy shots that I have to take.
They're B12 shots.
Yeah, B12 shots. Okay. And I don't like, they're legit shots, guys, like a needle in the butt. Like, okay, I don't like taking them. But every time I take them, I'm like, I think of like the last BBE energy FMC I read about, and I'm like, Rico would have taken this like in a heartbeat, or this girl would have done this, and I do it all the time. I like am like, this bad bitch I just read about wouldn't cry about a shot. She just got her ass beat and then beat somebody's ass up. Like, let's go. So I do it when I work out too. I'm like, there was one series I was reading. I'm blanking. It was like a romantasy. Oh, the Bonds That Tie series. And she had to like wake up at the ass crack of dawn every day to train because she was about to go to fight people. Sick. And so every day I would go to the gym. I'm like, I can do, if she's running 3 miles before she goes fights a man every day at the gym, I can squat like this rack. So, I like love to read FMCs that are empowering. And now if it starts off that they're not empowered and then they become empowered, that's that's the best situation.
Right.
But if I'm on page 20 and she's already mentioned an insecurity 18 times, like I can't do it.
You just can't get past the first part. Because I'm sure at some point, like, there has to transition to like somebody winning, or
damn,
like,
dude,
their insecurities
come
or whatever.
on. I just like, I don't know. Maybe I just judge that too hard, but I feel like I don't judge books very hard in general, and that's just my little pet peeve. So I think that's just where I draw the line, and I'm okay with that.
Fair
I think
enough.
I'm okay with that. I think that we've talked a lot about just like switching the brain and the mindset. I don't want that. I don't want to read it. Okay. Like, I just don't want to read it. But
all right. So the next question we have for you is, how would you rate books?
okay. So I actually made a video about this not that long ago because I feel like it's important to know how people rate books. Like, some people take it like super seriously, like mostly 3 stars, maybe 2 stars. Maybe if it's a good 4, and then like life-changing is 5. I actually saw somebody say that she doesn't rate a book 5 stars unless it not ruins her marriage, but like gets into her marriage, meaning like, does she no longer want to even hang out with her husband? She's losing sleep and she's cranky for it because she loves the book that much. That is not me. I give away stars like Oprah. I'm like, you get 5 stars, you get 5 stars, you get 4 stars. But I do have like an actual thought process to how I rate it. So since I have my channel, I kind of think of it like this way. If I would recommend a book on its own, I'd make a video on its own just on that book. To me, that's 5 stars. Like, I love the book. I would recommend it as a standalone. I would rate it 5 stars. Sorry, Ryan is trying to quietly drink water. Go ahead. Have your ASMR, babe. So thirsty. I would rate that 5 stars. Like, if I would make a video on its own. If I read the book, liked the book, but I would make it a video of like multiple recs at a time. If you were like, hey, I want recs on this trope, or maybe just recs in general, and I include it in a video with other books, I would rate that 4 stars. I would include it. Then it's 4 stars. If I read the book, did not love the book, but I finished it, that's 3 stars. You're never really going to hear me talk about the book. Technically, I might like mention I've read it before, but it's 3 stars to me. And there was nothing like screamed about it. And then if I didn't like the book that much, whatever, then I just DNF it. To me, there's no 1 stars. There's no 2 stars. I just DNF the book and call it a day. And I actually never DNF'd a book until this year. I finally learned it's okay to not finish a book. DNF, by the way, is did not finish. It's okay to DNF a book. If you don't like the book, don't read the damn book, kind of thing. There's so many books out there. But yeah, that's kind of my reading scale. I do not read and like take notes on the book. I think there's people out there that like read.
Yeah, for sure.
And like be like, I did not like this piece. Here's a plot hole here. Here's this, that like they will critique a book. I think those people should get paid. Like, damn, you are working. For me, reading is fun.
Right. More of a hobby, not a job type of a thing.
Hobby. I don't give a shit that there was a plot hole. Did it entertain me? Hell yeah, it did. Let's go. Did that make sense? I think I read a book once. I love the book. I'm pretty sure the girl's hair changed halfway through the book, and no one explained why she went from a redhead to a brunette, but
it's a drastic change too.
The author forgot what color her hair is. Frankly, I forgot what color her hair is. Yeah. That's another thing. Talking about visualization of the book. Apparently there's a scale, like somebody has an apple where it's like scale 1 is just like an outline of an apple. And then by scale 5, it's like 3D visualizing the apple.
Right.
And some people, when they read, they're somewhere between 1 and 5. I am maybe a 2 or a 3. So like when I'm visualizing the book, it's like stick figures half the time. Or I forget what the characters even look like. In my head, it's me. And a lot of times it's you.
Right.
But you might have blue eyes in this situation or whatever. Like, I don't actually see the character. Blue eyes
and tattoos.
You have so many tattoos.
Many tattoos.
But yeah, I'm like, some people are like, if some people do great fan art, I'm like, how do you even know what these people look like? Because to me, I don't know.
It's like a little stick figure.
Stick figure just running around. Like, but yeah, so if you follow me as a book talker, if you're looking for recs, I've got in my head, they're good recs. But if you're looking for like legit, serious reviews, recommendation, literary genius, I'm not your girl. I'm telling you right now. I'm here to have a good time only. Are you entertained? Good. That's about as far as we go for that.
Fair enough.
I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Do you have any ick words?
Ooh. I do. Okay. Let me try to think of what some of them would be. So like, I know you struggle with the C word.
Mm-hmm.
Cunt. He doesn't like that word. Rough for Ryan. I used to hate that word, like just in general. Like I never heard it like used, so it sounds
just not
so
a normal
harsh.
word that's used in like day-to-day vocab. Yeah, like
it's like an ultimate cuss word to me. Like if you call someone that, like you hate them. So I don't use that word typically, but reading it, I've gotten over it. Like it's just kind of is what it is. But like sometimes they'll call her like clit a nub.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh.
Imagine like somebody has their fingers cut off.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like your little nub. Like, they'll say ball of nerves. I'm like,
gross.
And I get it. Like repetition sucks.
Yeah.
But sometimes I would
not that bad,
I would be
though.
okay with repetition. Like that's her clit, man. Like we don't need to get like.
It's not that bad.
I love for her asshole. It's her tight hole.
Tight hole.
Her tight ring.
Tight ring?
Mm-hmm, like
I don't think I've read that one.
Pucker hole. There's so many descriptor words. A lot of times when people get fancy with words for anatomy, I'm like, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes I skip over it. I don't like the use of daddy a lot in the book.
Okay.
It's funny because I say like Daddy Pike, Daddy Cade, Daddy Jonathan. I love saying it like that.
Yeah.
But like when it's used unironically in a book.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I don't know if it's a word that you can actually take seriously.
I can't take it seriously. Yeah. I'm like, what? You know, like, is it a joke? I don't know. I'm trying to think what else I have as an ick word. This isn't an ick word, but I've talked about this before. I know a lot of people struggle, like, if the name of a character is someone either you don't like, or maybe even like someone in your family or your kid. I've joked that Kindle should have a find and replace option. So when you start a book, if it's like a name you don't like, just replace them.
Just replace it.
Or you find your ick word and you're like, just replace that. I want to read it. I think that would be genius.
I think that's a great idea.
Amazon, give me a call. I don't know how to patent that, but that would be sick. But a lot of people have ick words. People will DNF over an ick word. Done.
Yeah.
Will not do it. That would be such a funny like review to get. This word, this book had this ick word. I'm grossed out. I'm trying to think. I don't think any other ones come to my head, but when I see it, I'm like, ugh. Move on.
Gross.
Can't do it. So I've gotten good at skipping over words.
Yeah.
Or I'll change them. So for instance, I know Rena Kent, a lot of her people are from London or somewhere in England. They're all over the place. So some of the words in English from like England is different. Like it's arsehole with an R. So like my brain just changes that to asshole.
Yeah.
Not that it's an ick word. It's just one of those things like, I don't know. I just change it.
Yeah. It's just not, again, it's just a weird word for our vocabulary in the U.S. So.
They say like trousers. Yeah. That's not bad. But like to me, they're wearing pants. Like, I don't know.
Wearing pants.
Yeah, correct.
Pants.
Soccer. Yeah. Or no, they say football.
Yeah, they say football. Yeah.
Soccer. Which I'm not even going to start that debate. I don't care that some people call it soccer, some people call it football, but it took me $3 to realize they were fucking playing soccer.
Yeah.
I remember telling Ryan, I'm like, what the heck? Why did it take me so long to realize what sport they were playing? Oh God, I'm so dumb. But yeah, that's kind of what I do when I see my ick words. I don't think I've ever DNF'd a book because of an ick word.
Yeah.
I'll keep reading it.
I'll keep reading it. I'll just scroll past it. It's
You're like, oh, you cringe a little every time you see the
kind,
but
see. Yep, exactly. All right. Is there anything else you want to tell anybody who's trying to decide whether or not they should follow you?
Ooh, So I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. I feel like that's fair. I don't know how I even got the following I got. Big surprise to me. That happened overnight. It's been growing like crazy. I'm just here to make you laugh. Like, actually, that's so ironically, recently I have started talking about books. I'm a book talker that rarely talks about books.
Right.
Like, my whole channel has been driven around the reader, not the book.
Right.
Like, I'll talk about books I like. I'll say books I'm reading. If you want to follow me on Goodreads to know I'm reading, please follow me. But I have made my following mostly around the reader, because at the end of the day, like, that's all that matters. We want to connect as readers with other people.
Right.
And whether you read this book or this book, as long as it's in the same like I don't even know. I have a whole bunch of rom-com readers and dark romance readers and fantasy readers that follow me, even though I don't read or talk about all these books, because at the end of the day, there's still this underlying theme we all have in common. We want to disassociate from the world. We want to be entertained, and we want smelly little things. Okay. So if you talk about that or joke about that, people are like, okay, she gets it. Like,
we're in.
Whether my favorite was, Devil's Night series while you loved Akatar, we could still come together and realize there's so many underlying things.
Right.
So I think for me, if you follow me as a book talker, that's what I focus on. I try to focus more on like, making you guys laugh. That's our biggest thing.
Yeah.
Me and you both, that's what we focus on.
Yep.
Obviously, I brought Ryan on, a few months back. We just want to take the book, and there's some book talkers that will do it seriously. Either they talk seriously about the books, or maybe they'll reenact things in the book and they do it seriously. Not us. Not Ryan
us.
and I.
Nope.
If you come to us for seriousness, wrong spot, baby. But if you're looking for like just to find people that just can take it and have a good time with it, like, we're your people.
Right.
I have a great time
Yep.
doing it. And if it was gone tomorrow, it would be unfortunate. But like I said, here for a good time, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is not my future career, but if it was, that'd be sick.
You never know. It might be.
No, we're starting to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Ryan and I want to come out with merch.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
We actually already have in the works some ideas. So maybe the next month or so, we'll start playing with that. I think that would be so cool.
Yep.
Obviously, we have the podcast. We have Book Talk. We have Instagram. I don't do Instagram a lot.
We're going to get better about it, though.
We're going to get better. Guys, people on Instagram are a little bit mean. I will go to TikTok, post a video, and TikTokers, like all my Book Talk friends, we're all cool together. And then I'll go and post the same thing on Instagram. And luckily I don't check the comments over there, because I'll randomly check them and they're like, "You're so gross. They were sharing in this book." And it was like freaking Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. And I'm like, you mean the one scene where he shared his friend or his girl for like 30 minutes? Baby, I read Why Choose for fun.
Right.
She's over here like throwing up, like, ugh, gross. And I'm over here like, 7 people.
Yeah. It's like there's like a whole genre for that. So
I know.
Yeah,
And I think I read 36 Why Chooses last year.
Yeah.
You were so funny. Ryan, what did you say? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Ryan would always just make fun of me.
Yeah, I would just make fun of you.
Yeah, you'd be like,
those were like the only books.
Gangbangs.
Yeah.
So many books or so many people. And I'm like, I know. And it would be like, sometimes I wasn't even reading a Why Choose.
Most
and
of
you'd
the
be
time
like,
you weren't,
you were like, oh, is it one of your 7 boyfriend books? And I'm like, no, actually, there's only one.
Yeah.
It's like,
we actually counted it, and you're like, no, I actually read like 37
correct.
of them so far this year.
I tried to be like, no, I only read 10, and I actually read almost 40. So yeah, I haven't really read. I just started one, The Perfect Fit by Sadie something. I started that last night. I'm on page 4. So
Nice.
That's going to be a Why Choose.
Nice.
We're out here. I heard it's pretty good.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, that's it.
That was it?
That's all I got.
What was the last question on there?
What are your ick words?
Really?
Yeah.
That's how I ended it?
Yeah. I mean, we'll show the people real quick.
I know, I can't
Not losing
see.
my mind.
What are your ick words? Do you have any? Oh, we never asked about my triggers. You skipped one.
I skipped one. My bad.
Oh,
okay.
Ryan.
Do you have any triggers?
Facts. I do have triggers.
All right. What are they?
triggers for me are never put in a trigger list, and I think that's absurd.
Okay.
Okay. I don't care about anything that's normally in a trigger list.
Yep.
If you kill off a dog in a book,
Oh, that's fair.
trigger.
Any animals.
What the heck is all of that?
Yeah.
I don't I get it. The triggers are triggers for people, but what are we doing with the animals? That should be front and center.
It should be.
If I'm sobbing over an animal, triggered.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's fair.
Like, right? I don't have many triggers in this world. I do struggle, like, obviously with the kid, anything with kids.
Yeah, I struggle with kid stuff too. Yeah,
If it's like heavy on the kid stuff, I feel like it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
However, kind of my same process when I did read Hunting Adeline. Okay, Hunting Adeline, she was sold like for probably like 300 pages. She was stuck in that situation.
I remember you telling me about it.
And I've seen people say they skip that part of the book. I sobbed my way through it because in my head, it was one of those things of real life women and men go through this daily. And that's the unfortunate thing. And it's like sometimes you read somebody's story, so at least they're heard. And so like I kind of like went through it because now I'll never get over that. Like it's with me. So like kind of like living through that. So sometimes like I read the triggering stuff to kind of just like as a reminder in the world that like these real issues are there. And just because you turn a blind eye doesn't mean they go away. But the fucking dogs, man, really? Like
the dogs.
You had to kick that dog? Like that didn't have to happen, man. Like there's somebody going like around on TikTok right now because she said something like, I'm not taking a stance on this or anything like that, but she was talking about how she would easily give up her dog, or like she would never die for her dog. Like she's like, people don't die for their pets, blah blah blah. And I saw this other girl be like listing all these times that people have openly died for their pets. And I'm like, I think we watched, what was the show where he died in the house fire after rescuing the dog? Mandy Moore.
Yeah, This Is Us.
This Is Us. I think that's the one. Yeah.
It's with a family. It's like a
This Is
family.
Us. And I remember he went in and saved the dog from the fire. And at the time we did not have a dog. And I looked at you, love in my heart and my eyes, and I said, please don't ever do that. I don't care about the dog. Do not run into a house fire. I cannot lose you. I'm going to openly say now that we have 2 dogs.
I would have saved the dogs.
I would tell you to go save
I just wouldn't die.
You just wouldn't die. We have escape routes in place. Like we talk about this at least once a quarter about what our escape route is. If
we have a what is it, 3 or 4 times a year we'll have a fire drill.
A fire drill. And because we so I can't sleep with our dogs in our room because I'm allergic to dogs. We have hypoallergenic dogs, but one of our dogs, he's an inbred, so he's not hypoallergenic. I don't know what he is, but
hyper allergic.
He's just freaking hyper, dude. But they don't sleep in our room anymore. So we sleep in our bedroom, door closed. Our daughter sleeps in her bedroom, door closed. So apparently if you shut the door, the better chance that the fire won't go in there. So that leaves the main room where the dogs sleep open. So the drill is Kelsey, our daughter, will jump out her window. We're on the first floor. She's fine. She'll go out her window. We'll jump out of our window and then run back in and grab the dogs. So like Ryan's going to run and grab the dogs real quick. I'm going to run around the house and grab Kels.
Right.
And then we're all going to be safe. I feel like we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, we're good.
So, but you would have to go in and get those dogs.
Yeah, I would just open up the door. I mean, they just run out.
Knowing Bear though, God. He would do some stupid ass shit.
Yeah, he would.
Fucking Bear.
He'll be all right though.
I love him, but man, he's the second child. We had the first child. Anna was the princess, baby princess. She tricked us into thinking we could get another dog.
Yep.
We should have known the day we picked up Bear that he was not.
Yep.
Oh God.
That's a story for another day though.
That's a story for another day. Anyway, we got so off track. So I think that's good. I think that I'm a cool book talker.
Yeah.
Is that a lame thing to say?
Yeah.
That's lame as shit. I'm old as fuck. Yeah. Follow me, I'm cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you next time.